Hi, I'm Sharon Wren.
And I'm Linda Cook.
And this is QC Crime Watch, where we talk about some of the latest crimes that have happened in the Quad Cities and the cases that we're following.
Now, this one isn't a recent one that I want to talk about, Sharon.
Oh, quick rebuttal. None of us know anything about law, so don't call us for questions.
No, and the thing is that would be a conflict of interest.
That too.
Do we know attorneys? Yes, we do. But we cannot recommend attorneys or help in any way when it comes to legal proceedings.
Exactly. So you have a story that's been going on for years.
A long, long time. And the unusual part of this is that I happened to be at the scene, but I didn't know what I was seeing. I didn't know what was unfolding. So a little bit of this I'm going to go ahead and read. On June 22nd, 2022, so it's been almost 3 years ago, a Davenport man named John Cucharo called an Iowa county prosecutor assigned to a pending criminal case that he was involved in. And he threatened him. And I cleaned this up a little bit, but he said, I'm going to come get you real soon. I'll wait outside that door for you. And here's where the threat really comes in. I will eliminate you.
Oh, my.
That is according to U.S. Court of Appeals documents.
Yes.
For that call, Mr. Cucharo was convicted in Scott County District Court of first-degree harassment, and he received a 2-year sentence.
Okay.
Now, on that same day, Davenport police and fire investigators responded to a report of an explosion on the 1700 block of Spring Street in Davenport. It allegedly involved a pipe bomb that had been detonated inside a boat that was parked on the street.
And I remember the boat. It wasn't like a John boat or a small fishing boat. It was a boat that anybody might have sitting in their driveway.
Kind of a utilitarian boat,
Utilitarian.
I guess you'd say.
What you take down to the river on the weekend.
So responders found a pontoon boat and a trailer parked at the curb near this residential area, and it had indeed been damaged by a homemade pipe bomb. And I will read this. This is from documents filed in the Court of Appeals and also some affidavits from Scott County. The pipe bomb explosion resulted in a multi-county investigation and this federal indictment and conviction. So 2 people who lived near the damaged boat reported that Cucharo was a former classmate, and he was upset with them. Now, we don't know why, or I don't know why from these documents. Witnesses also reported seeing a man matching Cucharo's description running away shortly after the explosion, and investigators learned that Cucharo had threatened his defense attorney in Coralville, Iowa.
That's never smart.
Well, he went a little further. Court documents say photographs Cucharo sent the attorney show Cucharo in front of a blue Econoline van next to containers of black powder and a pipe bomb, consistent with the device found near the explosion. So this was not an idle threat. He meant business. And investigators learned that the blue van in the photo belonged to Cucharo's deceased father, and it was located near the address listed on his driver's license. So the threatened attorney provided Cucharo's phone number and photos of Cucharo standing near the van to investigators, and Coralville police shared the text messages and videos from this phone number in which Cucharo made death threats to local judges and prosecutors waving a pipe bomb, according to court documents.
Oh, my.
Which showed that investigators went to Cucharo's registered address on West 12th Street, saw the van parked 2 houses away, detained Mr. Cucharo, seized the van keys and his cell phone, and conducted a search warrant of the van. And that's when they found a container of black powder that was seen in one of the images Cucharo had sent out. Now, a search of his cell phone revealed a message saying Cucharo, and this is a quote, intended to annihilate various people, and showed videos of him working on pipe bombs in the van, in the Econoline van. Davenport Detective Gordon Morse, who is on the FBI Regional Bomb Squad, he's a member of that group, joined the investigation, and he learned the security footage had captured a person wearing a distinct U.S. flag t-shirt walking near the explosion, and that investigators had seen that shirt during the June 22nd search but left it in the van. So Morse concluded a second search of the van was needed, and they got a search warrant, and they did that. They found a hidden area near the ceiling of the van containing additional pipe bombs similar to the bomb in the photos and similar to the bomb that exploded on June 22nd, and in a separate area, a t-shirt with a U.S. flag pattern on it. So they found what they were looking for. Cucciaro had apparently been living in the van and working on these bombs sort of on the interior ceiling of the van, inside it. Through a joint investigation with the QC Bomb Squad, the Iowa DCI, the FBI, FBI, and the ATF, they found Mr. Cucciaro in the 1600 block of West 12th Street, and they took him into custody. Now, this has gone on for a long time, and he did file an appeal.
Right.
But I think it sums it up to say he is listed still as being incarcerated in the U.S. Bureau of Prisons in a prison in Kentucky. And it says that his release date is 2032. So this was taken very seriously. This was taken seriously by a great many people and units of law enforcement. And it's one of those stories you just don't hear about very often.
Right.
What caps it off for me and makes it even sadder is that in his younger years, Mr. Cucciaro was one of the best pool players in the world. Oh. He can be seen on YouTube videos and on online pool and billiard magazines making these shots that are just incredible. I watched them. He was very intense, and his aim was true. I think they called him the Arrow. I think that's right. He was so good. And he competed all over the country, was very, very well known for being talented. And I don't assume to know what brought him down.
Right.
But we can but we can conjecture that maybe it was an addiction or a drug of some kind. And it's too bad because he really was an incredibly talented pool player. And I encourage people, if you want to, it's John Cucciaro, look him up and you can watch him play. It's really sad.
Yeah, and this isn't the first time that somebody in some kind of sports or arts or something has gotten involved with substances and brought about their downfall.
Right, and ruined
really
a career.
sad.
It's too bad. It's too bad. Because I know he was smart and obviously talented.
Right.
And now he is in the federal prison.
And there's no parole in the federal system, right?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I know we get press releases from the Department of Justice that say that somebody has been sentenced to federal prison and there's no parole in the federal system. So, yeah. Oh, this is...
Yeah, it was a very disturbing, kind of incident, and I could tell when I was there that there were multiple law enforcement agencies around me in the area, but I had absolutely no idea what was going on.
Right.
Now, our colleague, Mike Colon, video journalist, took some footage from that area. So if you want to look at ourquadcities.com, you can see the footage from that day and from the scene.
So is this pretty much the legal end of the line for Cucciaro as
I
far as
don't know.
appeals?
I don't know. I don't know what his appeal options are, if he has any left.
Right.
But I'll continue to check on this case from time to time.
Okay, well, this was we should have said this was a special edition of our podcast because this one deserved to be focused on.
Well, it took a long time to come to a conclusion.
Right.
And that's what I remind people. This is a bigger crime that could have involved a lot of injury,
Exactly.
that involved threats and that
Right.
kind of thing. But even a minor burglary can take a long time to work its way through the system.
Right, and we don't hear a whole lot about pipe bombs around here.
No, thank goodness.
Well, not that we want to, but it's just helped make the case more unusual.
Right.
Well, that's it for our podcast this week. Join us next week for more on the crimes that make the Quad Cities hopefully lock their doors at night.
And lock your car doors,
Please.